Gunstar Heroes Treasure Box would be volume 25 of the SEGA Ages 2500 series that would have seen a release in Japan. And this game, while not a full-on remaster compared to other games seen within this series, this game would still keep with the typical elements seen in the Sega Genesis and Mega Drive version, but would also include additional versions such as the Japanese edition, Game Gear and even prototype versions on the Mega Drive, and would include some additional games with Dynamite Headdy and Alien Soldier that would also be included in the catalogue as well. So this one here wouldn't be an actual ground up remake. It's pretty much the same game in all sense of the word, but just adds in additional elements in terms of other versions of the game to increase the longevity of the experience. So if you're a fan or if you've played Gunstar Heroes on the Mega Drive, you'll be familiar with how popular this game is, as this is considered to be one of the greatest games of all time on the Mega Drive, and even during the 16-bit era, in terms of its visuals, its gameplay features, the combat elements, the use of the game physics, and how the game runs overall. It just is a beautiful looking game for its time, and it's very addictive in terms of its gameplay, even with regards to the visuals, because it uses 2D sprite based visuals, but when you get to fight bosses later on in the game, it uses somewhat almost 3D or semi 3D style visuals for many of the bosses, so it makes it, for its time, it looked very realistic or ultra realistic for its time. So it was one of the first games to really utilise the mixture between 2D and 3D elements, and it wasn't often seen on 16-bit consoles back then. So it's just a nice way to get to play the game from a modern point of view if you haven't played it already. This game was also added to the PlayStation Store and even the Xbox 360 and modern consoles in recent years through the likes of the PlayStation Network, so you could gain access to playing the game even from there. And that was actually my first experience with the game. Now, I was aware of this game way back in the day, but I never actually got to play it in the Mega Drive, but I seen it for sale on the PlayStation or PSN or PlayStation Network, and it was going fairly cheap, so I remember buying it and playing it, and I was playing it more notably to get the trophies in the game, because I was an avid trophy hunter back during the early days when the PS3 came out, and this was one of those games that I got addicted to try and get all the trophies in it. Now, while it didn't have a platinum trophy, but it did have, I think, about 10 or 12 trophies in the game from what I remember, so I managed to achieve them all. But I played this game for quite a bit and I found it to be very, very addictive. It is a really, really good game, and you can clearly see why it's considered to be one of the best ever games on the likes of the Sega Genesis or Mega Drive. There's just so much unique elements in this game that you wouldn't often see in other games around that period, so it's definitely worthwhile revisiting. And the fact is now that you can gain access to the game through multiple different avenues, and even on modern consoles through online kind of like support and stores and so forth, so it's definitely no excuse to not try it, if you will. But I would love to know your thoughts of Gunstar Heroes for this version of the PlayStation 2, if you have played it, or if you've played it on any of the other consoles or editions over the years. I would love to know what you think of this iconic game, so be sure to share it down in the comments below. And if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel and hit that bell to be updated with future videos. And if you would like to see more content around other games similar to this that was also released on the PS2, then check out the playlist on screen to see more of those games in action. And I will see you all in the next one.